afternoon or good day wherever you are, everyone. I'm Raymond Merriman. I'm joined by my co-host Gianni DiPoce, and we're here to talk to you about a very exciting event coming up September 19th to 22nd. It's the 2024 MMA Investment Retreat. And as I say, this is a very, very special event. It's going to include all of the MMA analysts that you've known and grown to love over the last couple of years, including Gianni and I. We'll go through each of those people with you very, very shortly. We also will be covering we're going to be covering long-term cycles. This is an event for long-term investors, those who want to build wealth the right way long-term, which, as we know and we teach at MMTA, real wealth comes from buying and holding when you invest in long-term cycles like the 18-year cycle. And there are several markets that are up for 18-year cycles in the next 6 years. Not all of them will happen at the same time. But at this event, Gianni, I, and our guests will cover a variety of markets that we think and when we think we'll be bottoming during this 6-year period. We'll be discussing how to scale into them as we come into these time bands and see particular signatures unfold in these time bands that we will be outlining. And it's a series of strategies. You're not going to be exiting everything out at once and buying everything out at once. It's going to be over a period of time. You're going to scale in based upon certain price targets, certain technical situations, certain cyclical time bands that overlap. And we're going to go over that, how you do that during this period in this very important and very special investment retreat. Now, who is going to be there? I'm going to turn this over to Gianni now to introduce to you the different speakers, the different presenters who will be present with us in Lake Bled, Slovenia. So Gianni, at this time, would you give an overview of who's speaking and what they're speaking on?
Of course, Ray. It's great to be with you here today, and I'm very excited for this very special event that we'll be hosting in Slovenia, September 19th through the 22nd. So the headliner of the event, of course, is Ray Merriman. Ray, let's back up real quick. There we go. That's good. So Ray started MMA, Merriman Market Analyst, over 40 years ago, if I'm not mistaken now. Ray was a commodities trading advisor and really revolutionized the study of geocosmics and their correlation to financial market cycles. He's authored several books and is going to be covering a plethora of markets with myself, including stocks and some other strategies that we use here at MMA to speculate in the markets, not just at a long-term interval, but a short-term one as well. And then, of course, I am the backup host, if you will, for this event, Gianni DiPoce. I've been trading markets since 2012. So I'm coming up on a Jupiter return, believe it or not, during my time in the market. Started off in the financial services industry, managed a portfolio for the public before transitioning over into the analyst side of the financial industry. I've been covering stocks, commodities, bonds, and even cryptocurrencies for MMA for several years now. I'm the director of the Merriman Market Timing Academy, and I've had the privilege and the honor of training dozens and dozens of analysts that they are now and soon to be analysts that are currently in the program and set to graduate at this event, which, by the way, this event will include the graduation of our students, those that have completed the curriculum of MMTA over the last 2 years. They will be graduating and going through a ceremony at the end of this weekend as well. So I'm really looking forward to that too. Here we have Ulrich Aspergen, who is one of the original MMTA students. He's been practicing MMA methods for over a decade. Ulrich is the man when it comes to the euro and currency markets. He'll be giving an in-depth analysis on the euro and the trajectory for the US dollar, as well as updating attendees with his famous Oregon cycles pyramid that is very helpful for understanding how cycles interact with one another across various timescales. Wyatt is our resident farmer and grains analyst. He is the editor for the monthly grains report. Not only does he analyze the grain markets, beans, corn, and wheat, he grows them too. So he really puts his money where his mouth is and lives and dies more or less when it comes to where the cycles are and these grains are. So a really excellent analyst and has done some excellent studies on the correlations between the grains and planetary cycles. And so he's going to be presenting at this conference as well on grains, and he was a graduate of MMTA too. Next, we have Matthew Kaiser from France. He is our copper expert and made an excellent call regarding the latest surge higher in copper prices. This was called by Matthew a couple of years ago, and he did extensive research on the copper market during his tenure as an MMTA student in MMTA2, and he's been analyzing the copper market with us for the last couple of years as well. So he will also be a featured speaker.
Let me just mention something about Matthew here too, because what he did in MMTA2 in 2020, I believe it was, maybe 21, he did what we're going to be doing as a team. He identified the time band when copper would make a long-term, like a 4-year, 8-year, maybe even a 6-year, 24-year cycle top in the first or middle part of 2024. And here we are, right near the record highs again. And he had quite a stunning call then. And it's also equally stunning what he sees happening in the next year when a great buying opportunity is going to come up. So he'll be discussing that, how to scale into that buying opportunity coming up in copper in the next 1 to 2 years.
Very good. Next, we have Vincent Wang from Singapore. Vincent has been analyzing the Singapore Straits Index and will also be presenting on the Japanese Nikkei. He's an institutional trader based in Asia and also graduated from MMTA2 recently and was an attendee at the London School of Economics. So Vincent is an excellent analyst as well and brings a very valued perspective from the Far East to this conference.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We also have Puyan Zulfargarnia. Many of you know Puyan from webinars, which we've also featured Wyatt and Matthew. But Puyan's been a little more present in those webinars and is also the editor for the monthly Cycles Addendum Plus report, in which he analyzes additional markets like Brent. He also covers silver very well and is really gifted in terms of presenting graphics to show the correlations between geocosmics and cycles as well. He's a very good trader and was also a top student and graduate in MMTA too, so he'll be presenting on a few markets at this conference as well.
You nailed one of his greatest gifts, which is his stunning graphics. It's almost worth us at conference just to see the visuals that he presents. He's pretty amazing.
Okay. And of course, crude oil. He's very good with crude oil.
Yes,
too.
he's an excellent energy expert. He is our crude oil analyst.
Yeah,
I'll cover the next ones here. We have 4 special guests. I'm going to cover the next 2. Alexander Imsuragic is one of the leading astrologers in the world when it comes to planetary cycles and their correlation to economic and world events. He not only uses the planetary cycles, he also uses fixed stars in his analysis. His presentations are also stunningly beautiful and deeply insightful. He's one of the guest speakers for the Friday or Saturday night ending part of the program those days, which will be another very, very valuable presentation to sit in, because he will outline his vision of the future in terms of what's going on with Russia, United States, China, North Korea, Iran, and Europe. It is something that should not be missed. He is an excellent presenter, excellent speaker, and graphics designer. The other top mundane astrologer in the world that we have present, there's a couple that are very exceptional mundane astrologers today. We have 2 of the most exceptionals in Alexander Imsuragic and Claude Weiss. Claude Weiss has been an astrologer for over 50 years. And his work with mundane analysis of world situations and world events coming up is probably unmatched over such a long period of time. He is considered by many to be the leading economic mundane astrologer on the planet today. He runs several businesses, including Astrodata. He also runs a school that has graduated hundreds of exceptionally gifted astrologers in Switzerland. And it's interesting, when you go to Switzerland to their school, you see the students coming dressed in suits and ties and briefcase. The women are dressed very fashionably. It's a very high-class experience to see these people, which are presently bank people, psychologists, insurance executives, taking astrology classes from Claude Weiss and his team. So we're very fortunate to have Claude with us too at this time. Gianni, why don't you mention Rita and talk about her, because you've had a special relationship with her over the last couple of years.
Indeed, indeed. Rita's a very gifted individual with a tremendous background in psychology and executive coaching. In fact, Rita was a graduate of MMTA2. She got through the program with flying colors, did the entire curriculum to pass and graduate from the program. But she also recently began a special school, if you will, coaching and training traders on how to improve their psychology in conjunction with their own astrology. So understanding the MMTA method in conjunction with psychological coaching is a very powerful tool. And Rita has presented at past conferences with MMA as well. And she always brings very insightful educational topics, but also really is able to thread the needle and make that difference that traders need to overcome the mental battle when it comes to trading and investing in markets. So we're really excited to have Rita attend as well.
Absolutely. I think the psychology of market trading is important as the knowledge of how to time markets, because even though you can time a bottom or a top, it still takes a certain amount of psychological discipline to enact the trade, and she can help you develop the confidence and the awareness to go ahead and initiate that activity. Next, we have Irma Scott. I met Irma in 2001, right after 9/11 happened. I was giving a talk in Amsterdam, and after the talk, she came up to me and said, I'm a currency trader at ABN AMRO, and I'm tired of being a currency trader. I want to do what you're doing. And ever since then, she's been our Dutch representative for our cycles reports. That's over 20 years, 22 years. She's a very good astrologer. She's a very good trader. She works with professional traders. She's on their team of managing accounts. So we're very fortunate to have Irma as a special guest at our conference too. So now we're going to talk about the event itself in Lake Bled. And before I get into having Gianni describe Lake Bled and the beautiful location that we're having, let me just mention the topics that we are going to be covering at this investment retreat, because there are a number of them that are going to be making long-term cycle lows in the next 6 years, according to our methodology. These are including the stock markets of the United States, Germany, China, Singapore, Japan. We're also going to be covering the long-term cycles in gold, silver, copper, which we indicated before with Matthew Kaiser, real estate. Gianni, I think you're going to cover the real estate cycles.
Yep.
We're going to cover the US dollar, the euro currency, the yen. We're going to cover wheat, crude oil, and Bitcoin. They're all due for long-term. Well, we don't know so much about the long-term in Bitcoin. We'll say at least intermediate-term cycles in Bitcoin, which even the intermediate-term cycles tend to go up 100 to 1,000%. So we see big moves coming up there too once we get this cycle low coming due. We're going to be doing this through our MMA methodology of market forecasting, market timing. We use cycles. We use our knowledge of planetary cycles overlapping with market timing cycles. We use price targets. We've got to have the cycle time bands overlap And when they do that, it's got to be in certain price target ranges. So we're going to describe what are those key price targets to watch for when we enter these time bands to to execute our strategies for building long-term possessions, which we think will lead to significant wealth building effects in your portfolio. So now let's talk about Lake Bled in Slovenia. This is one of the most beautiful destination locations in the world. And Gianni, I'm going to have you cover this here. We'll start here with the hotel. Yeah.
Very good. So we're going to be hosting this at the Reekley Balance Hotel. This is a very quaint location located in the Julian Alps in Slovenia. There's a couple ways to get there. You can fly into the capital of Slovenia, which I may butcher the pronunciation. Ray, do you want to pronounce that for me? It's the capital of Slovenia.
I can't remember the name of the major
It's
city.
Ljubljana, I think.
Ljubljana.
Yeah.
That's it. Ljubljana,
Ljubljana.
Slovenia.
So
capital.
you can fly into Ljubljana. You can also fly into Trieste, which is in Venice, near Italy. And from Ljubljana, it's about 30 minutes drive from the airport to the hotel. If you fly into Trieste, it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours. There's also a couple other ways to get there, and you can find the airport that's most convenient for you. But the event itself, breakfast will be covered at the hotel. It's part of the accommodations. But MMA, we will be covering lunch and dinner for attendees. So it's a great event, great camaraderie. The event starts on Thursday evening. We're going to get together for a cocktail party. We'll have the analysis on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The events will end Sunday evening. We do recommend our guests stay up until Sunday evening, and we recommend that you depart on Monday, just so that you can, participate in the graduation of MMTA as well. Just as a reminder, Slovenia does use the euro currency. We're going to be discussing that at the conference as well. But there's no shortage of other events if you wish to extend your stay in Lake Bled. It is a destination location, so you can come for the market analysis, but also stay for a little bit of local tourism. Ray, if you want to jump over to the next slide, there's a couple really nice extracurricular activities. There's vineyards, Klet Brda. There is a cave, the Postonia Cave. There's a local cow festival that's going to be coinciding around that time. There's water rapids, the Vintar Gorge. You also have the opportunity to take a boat ride to the Lake Bled Castle. That was actually visible on the first slide of this presentation, which is a very nice location. There's the church on the island as well. And then, of course, there's the Triglav National Park, which is great for those that enjoy hiking. So whether it's architecture, wine tasting, hiking, outdoor adventures, and just enjoying the scenery, Lake Bled in Slovenia is the place to be. And not only will you be expanding your physical horizons, but your intellectual and your mental ones as well through the MMTA conference. So Ray, how much does it cost to attend this conference? And aside from what I just covered, what else can attendees expect?
Well, the cost is $3,000 if signed up by August 1st. After that, it increases to $3,500. It's available in person or online. If you come in person and stay at the Reekley Balance Hotel, it covers all of your meals for 168 euros a night. It's a really fantastic hotel. It's a beautiful, modern, and yet woodsy, outdoorsy, natural feeling to it. It's a spa. It's a destination location. Just a beautiful place to go. So I would also like to mention that we have recently received 3 more rooms. We were filled up. We have 3 more rooms available now at that price until August 1st. So if you're interested, let us know by August 1st. We can get you one of those 3 rooms. If you can't get into that hotel through us, there are other hotels in the area that are starting to. Many of our attendees are also going to be in these other hotels. I think we've got at least 10 or 15 other attendees who are staying at other hotels in the area. I don't think they're any nicer than this one. They're all beautiful hotels. So sign up by August 1st, get the special rate at both the hotel and with the conference itself, which, as I said, if you come in person, it is going to include your meals. And one of the meals that's going to be very special is you'll see in the background of the picture on your slide right here is the Lake Lead Castle, this ancient historic castle. We have a special room set aside for us, for our group, for our Saturday evening banquet. It's going to be quite a wonderful, memorable experience there. So yes, sign up by August 1st. Take action on this. Don't miss out on this if you're interested in building wealth over the long term using the MMA methodology of long-term market cycle planning.
I do want
Okay.
to clarify one thing, Ray, is that the cost of the retreat does not include the overnight accommodations or travel expenses. So, you know, the hotel cost is separate from the attendance cost and the ticket cost, and obviously the travel expenses, the flying into Europe, whichever airport you decide, and the you know, shuttle to and from the airport is not included. So I just want to be clear on that, because it is
No, I think
important.
that's very good that you are on that, because sometimes we have misunderstandings. We don't want
Yeah.
that misunderstood. The cost of conference is $3,000 now, $3,500 after August 1st. The cost of hotel is separate. It's €168 for a standard room, and that will include your meals and your snacks. It'll include the breakfast, lunch, and dinners. And in the cost of the conference itself, we will cover the banquet as well. So you get a lot of perks
Tremendous
by
value.
coming there personally, and it's going to be
Yeah.
a wonderful experience. You'll meet many compatible souls on your journey toward a successful financial lifetime at this conference. There's nothing else like it. It's memorable. It's something where bonds are established that lasts a long time.
Absolutely.
People who took this course in 2012, 2013, and 14, they're still in touch with each other, trading off each other's ideas and doing very, very well. Thank you.
Indeed, the
Okay.
relationships are very valuable here. All the details of this can be found at www.mmacycles.com. There is a frequently asked question tab as well. And of course, if there are any questions, feel free to reach out to us at customerservice@mmacycles.com. And that's all I had to share, Ray. So
That's wonderful, Gianni. Thank you for being part of this today. And thank you, everyone, for your consideration and your support over all of these years. And we hope to see many of you September 19th to 22nd in beautiful Lake Lead, Slovenia. Thank you.